Welcome to Season 2 of the Craft Beer Connoisseurs Podcast. I'm Brett. If you're new to the podcast, we are three friends and a producer who like to showcase craft breweries and their beers. Also, we like to end every episode with a short conversation on a variety of different topics. If you're not new to the podcast, well, welcome back. We will keep things similar to Season 1. After all, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. Whether you're new or returning, please feel free to listen to all of our Season 1 content. And remember to follow us on Instagram at Craft Beer Cons, send a friend request on Untapped, or subscribe on YouTube at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. Also, drop a comment, like, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Now, for today's episode. Welcome to Craft Beer Connoisseurs. I'm Brett.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Tyler. And along with us today is producer Carlos.
Hey, Carlos.
I was waiting. I was like, somebody? Nobody? All right.
He's very quiet over there.
We'll welcome him. So in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Halo Brewing Company out of Toronto, Ontario.
Yes, we are. And we're going to be having two beers. So the first one is Magic Missile, which is a dry hop pale ale. The second is Fallen Empire, which is an imperial stout with a lot of unique concoctions that we'll get into in a bit.
Nice. And to finish up the episode for today, we're going to be talking about some unique scientific facts.
Halo is located at 247 Wallace Avenue in Toronto, but more specifically in the Junction Triangle District, and it opened in 2016. As seen with most breweries, it's kind of an older warehouse building that's been renovated with a variety of different offices and businesses storefront, but most importantly, at the end, closest to the train track, there's Halo.
That is most importantly.
Is there like a bright light, you know?
A bright halo.
Yeah, a bright halo.
A halo over top of the building.
That's where I'm going.
That would have been a good idea. So the brewery was founded by Callum Hay and Eric Portelance. So Eric has actually since left and co-founded Slake Brewing, which is in Prince Edward County. Callum, obviously now the sole owner.
Is that what happens when two become one?
It is what happens. He left his day job as a software engineer in order to open Halo. So his love of numbers and understanding of how things work, so you can see he's an engineer, has helped develop even more beer knowledge and continuously trying to make the recipes better. And we'll talk about that a little bit more coming up.
Nice. A little teaser, a little taster.
Yes.
If you will. So Halo states, that they take traditional recipes of rare styles of beer, and they do a lot of experimentation. So we've seen this before with some other breweries as well.
Yeah.
So they like to move things in, move things out. So they utilize different fruits, spices, and then again some other unique ones to kind of like complement like hops and yeast and malt flavors. So you see a bunch of different varieties coming out of Halo, and this is some of the stuff that we've kind of noticed in previous beers that we've had. And then kind of maybe what we're going to see later on in today's episode. Man, this is just written beautifully for a lot of teasers.
Lots of foreshadowing going on here.
Cliffhanger after cliffhanger after cliffhanger.
Yeah, so Halo has stated that they feel indebted to all of the brewers that came before them and share their knowledge with them. So they share all the recipes with all of us.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. So they will run you through every single recipe from the first brew of it to the last so you can see how it's evolved over time. So, for example, the Shapeshifter, so their sour IPA, has actually gone through 23 different changes. And it has every single recipe from the very first one to, I guess, the 23rd one. So you can see how it's kind of evolved over time.
So would you say that the beer has shifted shapes?
Oh.
I believe that would be correct, yeah. It started out as like a rhombus, and now it's like a trapezoid.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so that is really cool that they make those changes almost as if, it's labeled as the same beer every time they make it, right? Mm-hmm. But you're kind of drinking a brand new beer every time.
Right.
Like, I mean, sometimes the changes may be subtle. You'd have to kind of check what they've changed, but sometimes it might be a big change that really changes the whole complexion of the beer.
I'm kind of curious if this kind of goes back to the whole software engineering aspect, right? You develop software, and then every iteration, every kind of update, you fix some of the bugs,
yes,
tweak it a little bit, and then you just kind of improve a little bit as you move along.
It's like that iOS 14 to 15 update. Right? Like, it's kind of like making it better.
But before that, there's 14.1, 14.2.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering if that's kind of where the mentality comes from with this. And you still get this Shapeshifter beer, but those are the varying iterations.
Yeah, that's a good point because I know in software engineering they use the term agile, which is basically that, right? Like they put something out and then kind of test it, and then people say, "Oh, I don't like this part. This part doesn't work very well," so they just change it,
right?
And continuously iterate and improve on it. So totally, I think that's what they're doing here with their beers as well.
And I know a couple times in a couple other breweries we've had on previous episodes, they said like, we made the first batch, it was crap. So we changed it. Right? So at least here they can actually see, like, okay, maybe the first one that was made wasn't very good. So now you can see the actual iterations and different changes that they made to make it good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the natural kind of evolution of a lot of things, even this podcast. Go back and listen to season 1, episode 1 and 2. It's a lot different than what we're doing right now, right?
Totally.
Well, episode 2, we had 4 beers. So yeah, it was a little different. Anyway, so the actual, if you go to the website, with the recipe, it'll tell you like percentage of malts used, what it's thrown in the mash tun, its schedule, sparge, then once it hits a kettle, including like boil time, the main hop is thrown in. Then maybe the whirlpool, with the secondary hops are thrown in, all to get to that target temperature.
So they really go super in depth with the recipes that they put in. So, like you mentioned, Brett, how they feel indebted to the brewers that came before them, obviously kind of paving a path. It feels like they're trying to be, provide guidance to the breweries to come, right? That they may not even know. So they're putting those recipes out there so other people can try their stuff and say, "Oh, I never thought of using this malt with this hop," or something like that. And another brewery tries it. They're
the Penn and Teller of the craft beer scene. Just giving up all their secrets. And I wonder what the community thinks of that,
Yeah, it's interesting because you see some of those bigger beers like where they put out the recipe like the Black is Beautiful, things like that, where they want other breweries to brew the beer, but it's very rare when you see a brewery putting out their own proprietary recipes.
Their core beers, seasonals for sure.
And then, of course, the fermentation schedule. So including its primary fermentation, its dry hop, conditioning days, maybe if there needs to be adjunct additions, and then the cold crash, warm conditioning. For example, you'll see that with the Imperial Stout. That's been conditioned warmly for a little bit. And maybe even some barrel aging.
And this is Brewing a Beer with Brett Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Well, I actually learned a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the website, you can learn a crap ton.
Nice.
So basically,
more like a craft ton.
A craft ton. Yeah,
I see what you did there.
We should just buy the equipment and then look at their website, and we could
see if we can get
brew
close
their
to
beers.
Yeah, try it out.
Some would call that plagiarizing, but
no,
it's all there.
It's all public.
It's all public knowledge. But yeah, so I mean, now that we understand how beer is brewed, has anybody actually been to the brewery? I haven't. I don't think any of you guys have, right?
I have not been to the tracks.
All of the science, though, makes me want to go.
That's true. Carlos is over here shaking his head no, too. So
big no.
4 of us, no. All right.
No. So in terms of Untapped, they have 97 beers listed in terms of beers that they made, and 9 of the 97 have created an average rating of over 4 on Untapped, which equals to just about over 10%.
Wow. Did you get the calculator for that one?
I had to.
That's really good, though, eh? When you look at that percentage, that's hard to kind of come by. So
yeah, on Untapped, like the 4 rating is kind of like that threshold that it's difficult for breweries to get over, right?
Right.
But once you do, there ain't no going back.
Yeah.
Unless you get a bunch of people rating it a 1.
Yeah.
Then you can go back.
And that's how Untapped works.
Yeah.
Go back to the previous producer episode we did on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So what kind of beers have we all had, Brett? Let's start with you. What have you got from Halo?
So I had the Peach Sociopath, which I believe I did rate a 5. Crash Space.
Surprise.
Oh, yeah. Crash Space, and then the 2 Shapeshifters. So they have their regular Shapeshifter, and then they have different variations of it. So I had the Black Raspberry on tap, which was also rated a 5. And actually, I had the Strawberry one last week with the person to my left, Tyler.
Hey, I'm that guy.
Yeah, you are.
So what have you had then, Tyler?
Yeah, so I've had 3 of my own. I did taste with one of the Shapeshifters as well, but the 3 that I've actually had in its entirety, the Strawberry Shapeshifter, Crash Space, and then the Iron Cannon. which is like a fruited goza with strawberry and kiwi, which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'll touch on producer Carlos because I've actually not had any Halo beers.
And that's going to change again.
Yeah, I
today.
think last episode I didn't have any Royal City beers before the episode as well. So
You're really lacking in your beer intake lately.
I know I've got
breweries.
to go out and find more breweries. So Carlos, he's had 4. He's had the lemon, strawberry, and black raspberry shapeshifters. So he really likes his shapeshifters, along with the crash space as well.
He does like to shift his shapes, if you will.
I don't even know how to take that. But for delivery options, if Chris, you wanted to get some more beers because you've had none of them, there is free delivery, which is over $80, and then that's all
across Ontario.
So you live in Ontario, and you can spend over $80. You could get some beers.
It would not be hard to spend over $80. I'm sure I could do that pretty easily. So if you are in Toronto, though, and you wanted to go to the tap room or the bottle shop, then you can go there between Sunday and Wednesday from 11 to 9, Thursday from 11 to 10, or Friday and Saturday from 11 to 11.
So we want to take a tour, right?
Yeah, I would.
Perfect. They can spend more than $80, and you can not even get delivered. You can just pick it up and go home.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're going to link all the information that they have on our social media, and we should probably get to trying one of these beers.
Sounds good.
All right. Big shout out and thank you to Dan from Halo for coordinating us to have the beers on today's episode.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
Dan from Halo.
That is correct. Yes, he's Dan from Halo. The first beer today is their flagship dry hop pale ale called Magic Missile. 5.5 ABV and 25 IBUs. And just a side note. Oh yes.
Yeah,
the first iteration of this one was actually at like 34 IBUs, and the IBUs have been changing consistently throughout the entire recipes.
Nice.
Which we know because they publish all the recipes.
Right.
That is correct.
Now I'm going to read this as it's written. So it's kind of funny. This beer is brewed with malts. Thanks, Brian. So the malts.
Blame Carlos. He's too busy looking at the Leafs game right now, not busy enough focusing on this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. So it is brewed with malts, as one would think. The malts are Golden Promise, Two-Row, Carafoam, Caramelt, Pale Wheat, Malted Oats, and Rolled Oats.
It's a lot of malts.
Yeah.
A few.
It's just a couple times 3, maybe 4. Utilizing Citra in the first wort with additions of more Citra, Galaxy, and Exaka hops in the Whirlpool. So again, we see them using various different hops and then at different times throughout the brewing process. And then again, dried hop with Galaxy, Citra, and then the Belma and Centennial as well. So a lot of malts, a lot of hops. I hear they put more hops in it.
Oh, man. So we'll just note that we are having the latest iteration of the Magic Missile, and they describe it as a hazy orange hop juice, which will showcase flavors of passion fruit, strawberry, and mild citrus.
Yes, and this was canned on October 19th.
Ooh.
So
Pretty fresh.
pretty fresh.
So fresh and so clean.
So, on Untapped, you can follow us at Craft Beer Connoisseurs, and if you haven't done it yet, do it. The overall rating for Magic Missile is 3.82 bottle caps out of 5, with 2,764 check-ins.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a couple check-ins.
Now, I don't see, maybe we can get Carlos to look at it, but what's that broken out as for like cans and tap and any of that stuff?
Pretty similar. Obviously, the taster, I believe, is a little bit lower, but usually like the growler is always the highest rating because if you get it in a growler, you probably really enjoy the beer itself.
All right. Well, we'll get Carlos on that.
Yeah, we'll get Carlos looking at it and get him to do something.
Yeah. He's done nothing so far.
It's true. Poor guy. While he's looking at that, we're going to do my favorite part of this. We're going to grab our can and our glass and let's open her up. Oh, I got a little splash there.
A little splashy splash.
A little repeat over here.
Well, we are going to pour this into our glass, which today is a pint glass. So make sure to use your proper glassware. And I will say that Carlos has taken a look at Untapped. So the can has the second most ratings, actually, 470 with a 3.89 rating. So a little bit more than the average. Number one is Draft, 862 ratings at 385. And you're right, Brett, Growler, 4.19.
I'm just going to say, it looks like I would like to have this off a draft, but I'm really enjoying what's in my glass currently.
Right.
Lots of head there.
And you might not see this in the picture, unfortunately, because I think the one for the picture will not have the head.
No.
But yeah, good head. Decent head retention. Like it's hanging around a bit. And good, I guess, like larger carbonation in the head as well.
Absolutely.
So
It's got that nice haziness to it, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
It does literally look like hazy orange juice.
Yes, I was going to say the exact same thing. It just looks like a glass of hazy orange juice, which is, I cannot complain about that.
No, what
Now,
do you guys get on the nose?
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Orange juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of passion fruit in there as well.
Yeah, no, I'm getting the same sort of thing. So yeah, picking up the same kind of nose and
Yeah, definitely like very tropical flavor to it.
It's almost like, being on a beach. Just booked our trip to the Dominican today, so I mean...
oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for
booking
Is that
that
our
for
Christmas
us.
gift?
No?
Oh, there's another gift. All right, stay tuned.
Yeah, a lot cheaper.
Very nice. No, this looks like it looks and smells like a very crushable beer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like very light. I feel like we're going to get through this quickly.
But
here.
does it taste crushable?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, like if you're sitting on the beach in Dominican, right?
Yeah. Oh, we'll experience that. When are we going?
It'll be in the mail. Your flight itinerary is in the mail. And
Nice.
apparently the mail is really slow this time of year.
Yeah.
Because people like to order online everything.
Beers.
Including beers from Halo. Already.
Yeah, over $80. Free in Ontario.
Well, while you guys were kind of sidebar, I took a sip of this one. Definitely getting that orange flavor coming through. More like not necessarily on the back end, but it doesn't hit you up front like you might expect.
I'm kind of getting the orange juice vibe again, as we've kind of already said already, off the frontage. And then the back end is hitting hard with the passion fruit.
I was hoping you were going to say backage.
On the backage.
The frontage and the backage.
So
How is it on the swallow?
yeah, exactly. So I'm glad you asked. So going into this beer, I kind of am thankful for having different beers with the single hops to kind of pick out some of these hops that we've had previously. Predominantly Citra.
Yes.
Like you could tell this is Citra heavy on it.
Yeah, and that's
good.
where the orange is coming from is from the
Absolutely.
citra.
Yeah, and I think it just kind of like leads the way throughout it. It's not really, it doesn't have a dry finish, so it's
Definitely not a dry finish.
it's nice. Like this is a nice beer.
Yeah, and I think Citra was used in all three instances where they added hops.
Correct.
So that makes sense why orange is really kind of the predominant flavor kind of popping out.
Yeah,
Right.
and you had it within you had it within the whirlpool. You had it dry hopped.
Yeah.
You had Citra as the main star here.
Yeah, and you can see that galaxy coming through too, because that was 2/3 of it as well. So
Yeah, absolutely.
very again, but not too hoppy, right? Like you get
No, it's not over hopped.
Yeah, you get the flavor profile of the hops, but you don't get like this just overbearing hoppiness kind of like after bitter taste right too, right?
No, I am getting a little bit, as I drink it more, a little bit on the back end as well, more of that maltiness, like almost bready. Like we talked about how there's like 6 or 7 different types of malts in here. So that's
It's brewed with malts.
right. It
in
is.
there,
Yeah. Funny how
It's
that
just
happens.
science.
So that's what I'm kind of getting as well. So I think that's coming through quite a bit.
Now that you mentioned that, yeah, I'm getting more of the malts. I mean, there's 6 or 7 or however many ever of them in here. So I am getting that maltiness coming through. It's making it more balanced, I think, in terms because you have so many malts and so many hops. It definitely does balance equally to me.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think with me is it's between the sips. So if I take a sip and let it sit,
Yeah.
then I get that kind of finishing of that bready kind of. Well, I don't even know if it's bready for me. If it's more of like a cereal-ish.
Yeah. That makes
right?
sense.
You know, like a plain kind of just cereal, like run of the mill. So
Special K.
yeah, just nothing over the top. But we got top 5 flavor profiles here, so I'm going to run through them. You guys tell me what you guys think with it. Carlos, feel free to chime in or type in, your choice. Number 1, hoppy.
Yes. Pardon me, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, we definitely get the flavors of the hops, so I would agree with that.
As a number one?
Maybe not number one.
Right.
I personally would probably put, and I'm going to spoil it a bit, it's not there, so I'm surprised it's not there, but I would put orange as number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even like the
citrus.
orange peel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you peel too, yeah. Number 2 is dry.
Don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I think maybe people are reading that it's, dry hopped pale ale and they're thinking that it should be dry, but I don't really get dry.
yeah.
Another thinking also is that if you look at the iterations of it, right? The 12th iteration of the Magic Missile could have been a lot drier versus the one that we're having right now.
That's a good
We're having
point.
it
Very good point.
Pretty
Yeah.
fresh, right?
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Is that these 5 flavor profiles include all iterations of this beer.
Yeah.
And so there could have been a vast amount of sales on the 10th iteration instead of the 23rd iteration.
Right.
And thus we get the top 5 flavor profiles, more of an indication over a historical timeline.
Yeah.
Nice.
Literally the history of this beer is in these flavor profiles.
Yeah, good call. Number 3, fruity.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that.
4, smooth.
Definitely goes down smooth. I'd say smooth would be like number 2 for me.
Yeah, it is a smooth beer.
And 5, malty.
Yeah, I think it's malty, like
Yeah.
I mentioned.
It sits at 5 for sure.
Yeah, that's a good spot for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think we could probably look at some of the other ones. Carlos has typed in some crushable or tropical or balanced. I would have liked to see more of that tropical, that citrus, that orange kind of come to the forefront in these top 5.
Yeah,
But
I think
again,
so.
I think your point is well received, Brett. I think historically it could have changed.
So speaking of Untapped, and there's some other people's user thoughts on this. Chris, you have the very first one.
I do. So the first one comes from Mike W. Username is Watro on October 29th. Said, first can, great first impression. Love the boldness of the dry hop here and lots of juiciness to pull in back in time.
Yeah, he wasn't the greatest speller.
Yeah. Mellows out pretty quickly in the mouth around the midpoint. This is highly crushable and easy to put back 1 or 3. Not possible to put back 2, just 1 or 3.
Yeah. 1 or 3. 2, can't do it.
So Mike gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, that was interesting read.
Yeah.
But again, some of the points are really valid throughout that. So thanks, Mike. I've got the second one. So Jonathan B, Johnny B Good, ending with an E, is the user handle. On October 16th, lots of orange, feels like a hazy IPA / orange crush combo. 4 out of 5 bottle caps.
That is one thing
Jonathan
you have
B.
not seen in beer. Orange Crush.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be
according to
interesting.
Jonathan B, this is kind of it mixed with an IPA.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see that. And again, we get the orange, we get the I get the hazy IPA kind of feel to it, right?
Yeah, I get that totally.
Nice. All right, so I have the pleasure of starting our ratings off. I'm going to go ahead and give our rating, my rating, a 4 on this one as well.
Well, I think I'm going to agree with Tyler and Mike and Jonathan, and I'm going to give it a 4 also.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I'm probably just going to agree with everybody, too. So I'm giving it a 4. And producer Carlos has looked away from the Leafs game for 1 second to also give it a 4.
Wow, what a
Tyler,
copycat.
what is our score?
Carlos, you get off easy on this one.
Yeah.
So our overall team score on this one is going to be a 4.
Perfect.
Amazing.
Funny how that works. All right, well, why don't we move on to beer number 2? All right, the second beer we're going to have today is called Fallen Empire, which is an imperial stout and has, get ready for this, a 10 ABV.
That's up there.
Yeah, with 35.8. That's right, 0.8 IBUs.
Again, going back to the recipes, very exact
Yep.
in terms of percentages and rates.
I was waiting for like a Star Wars reference, but we didn't get it.
No, we didn't.
Imperial Stout, Fallen Empire.
Yeah.
Sometimes the joke just doesn't land.
We missed that one.
Yeah, I get
Okay,
it.
R2D2, get going.
All right, so this is a Gargantuan, chewy, intense mind.
Chewbacca.
I got nothing. Intense mind style imperial stout is coca, vanilla, cinnamon, and 3 kinds of chili peppers. The red, the hot. No, okay.
No.
Chipotle, gajeo, and pasilla.
Yes.
So Carlos is going to love this because he does not like spicy foods.
No.
True.
Yeah.
And this is the second iteration of the beer. So the first iteration actually had 4 kinds of peppers. This one has 3.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Wow. The
yes.
more you know.
So it might have been a little bit too spicy the first time, and
Knowledge-
they tamed it down a
Knowledge
bit.
is power.
So obviously we mentioned about the vanilla and the cinnamon, but there's also flavors of chocolate. That's going to give a rich dessert-like mouthfeel. And then it's going to end with a fiery flourish of spicy chilies. Carlos's mouth over there is watering with, he's going to be real excited about this one.
Yeah.
I see fear in his eyes.
You know what? We've only, I think, had one producer actually like stouts or porters. So we got to maybe start looking. But here's the thing. Do we, and maybe put this out to the community, do we get producers that enjoy the beers that we have on that episode, or do we continue to screw them over? We'll put that as a poll, maybe.
I say screw.
Yeah, I'm with Brett.
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
All right, so on Untapped for the Fallen Empire, there are 191 check-ins with an average rating of 3.99 bottle caps out of 5. And we're having this one out of the bottle, actually. And with the bottle, there's 147 check-ins with a 4.09 rating.
We're going to bump that up shortly.
All right.
We'll see.
Get your. This is. You don't have enough hands for this. You can't grab the glass, the bottle opener.
Yeah,
so
you need 3 hands.
Yeah.
We don't have 3 hands.
No. So grab your bottle opener and your bottle, and let's open her up. Ooh, very nice.
Oh,
very
you
nice.
get that aroma off the nose. For sure.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, as we pour this into our nonic pint today, we want to make sure that everyone uses their proper glassware.
Is anybody's eyes burning?
Just listen. Just listen to that.
There, look at that. The head is just dissipating very quickly in the beer.
It is. Pours like molasses.
It's very thick, which they said.
You can actually see some of the pepper flakes and like chili flakes in here.
Can you? Eh?
Yeah, if you look really high in depth, science. You can see
I
it.
can too.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I think Carlos is crying.
4K vision over here from Brett.
I do have 20/20 vision. It's the
I do
only
as
good
well.
quality about me.
You said it. Carlos is not
My wife would agree.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. So on the, I'm going to go on the site on this one because I don't want to be the guy to smell it right now.
I'll get right in there. That's fine. Go ahead on the site.
It is what you would expect. It is dark. You can't see through it. It's got kind of like that dark chocolate kind of a appearance. What you typically would see with beer of this style. Mm-hmm. Now on the nose, I will get my schnoz in there. You guys tell me what you guys smell.
Now, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not really smelling the chilies, but
Take another smell. It's
Yeah. Get your nose in there.
I mean, it's not as intense as I might have thought it might be.
I will say, I like hot stuff, but I'm not, an expert or a connoisseur, if you will, in terms of, the names of peppers and their hot scales.
Right.
Like I know Chipotle, jalapeno, ghost pepper, etc.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what the scale is in terms of guajillo and pasilla. Anybody?
Yeah, I enjoy
not
spicy stuff. I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
It is different when it becomes part of a beverage, obviously.
Yes.
There's no sour cream for this to kind of subside.
Well, if you remember, look back last season when we had that jalapeno pineapple IPA from Black Gold.
Yeah.
That was a very well done iteration of putting a pepper into a beer.
I heard on the street that some might have given it a 5.
Yeah.
What street?
This street that we're on.
It was where Fletcher was met.
Robert and Fletcher, exactly.
There you go. All right. Well, boys, this is it. We're getting an emphatic no, don't make me do this from Carlos.
Carlos is actually putting his mask on and wanting to social distance here.
So let's get into this one a little bit, all right?
All right.
Let's do it.
All right.
I'm excited about this one. I'll let you guys go to first so everybody can hear my voice, and then I'll drink it so then they can hear your voices.
Carlos, not happy.
No.
He's a bit of a wince
It's almost
there.
like
Yeah.
he looked down and saw that the Leafs still haven't won a cup.
But they did score.
1967. Yeah, they did score. But 1967.
Yes, thank you, Brett. Thank you. Well, in terms of this beer, definitely spicy.
Correct.
I get the heat, but
No. Let it sit. The more it sits, the more heat you get.
you think so? I was going to say I get a lot of chocolate on the back end that kind of balances it actually quite nicely because like spicy chilies and chocolate do go
They
well
really
together.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I'm getting that chocolate at the end that takes away from the heat.
You all right, Brett?
Yeah, no. No, I'm just trying to like actually taste the beer. So I'm getting a lot of smokiness out of this that wasn't really advertised, if you will.
Okay.
I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm not getting a whole lot of smokiness. I think that
It could just be the
to
chocolate,
me,
like very roasted chocolate malts too.
well, I
Yeah.
think that could be as the more of a roasty flavor, but again, that could be from the peppers too. I am curious to. I'm curious
to know if the peppers were roasted, or if they weren't.
Yeah, or if they just hucked them in and
Right,
grind
just
them up and
raw. Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, I would say it's about as spicy as I was expecting it to be, but also as chocolatey as I was expecting it to. So I think this beer really hits on what they're trying to get at. Personally.
There's a lot going on in your mouth right now.
Yeah, there is a lot going on for sure.
for 10% to kind of let it sit it's not as boozy as I thought it was going to be.
That's true.
Right? Like I thought I was going to be hit with a heavy alcohol kind of flavor profile, but I'm getting the spice. I find the spice for me is kicking in a lot at the back end, and I'm actually getting the chocolate up front.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree that there's definitely some spice kicking in now, like you mentioned. It's like, hey, wait on it.
Yeah.
I'm now waiting on it, and now I'm getting more of that spice. For
Like
sure.
I'm curious, as this is our last beer for tonight, or at least it's my last beer for tonight. You guys can do whatever the heck you want. But I'd be curious to see what kind of lingers in like 20 minutes after having this beer. If I can still kind of pick it up, if I can kind of taste it, that spice is still kind of coated my mouth, and if I'm
Well, the one
something
thing is that I'm pretty sure in 20 minutes I'm still going to be having this beer because this beer is definitely a simmer in terms of you want to have it sit there to get all the flavors versus just down the hatch and done.
slow sipper for sure.
Yeah, this is. We mentioned the first beer, the Magic Missile, was a crushable beer. This is not a crushable beer.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not crushing this. If you're
No.
crushing this, you have problems.
So would you guys agree with me? We've done this. We did a lot actually in season 1. We haven't really done it a whole lot here. Excuse me. Was with respect to the best time for this beer. There was a heavy snowfall last night.
In some parts of the province.
Yeah, for sure. This
Where I live, yes.
Yeah.
Where you live, no.
Right. This would be kind of one of those beers that I could, throw on a movie or even the Leafs game, as Carlos shakes his head yes. But I still.
Big Leafs fan. Don't know if you guys got that.
Yeah. But
Toronto,
really not,
it's all fitting.
really not picking up on the beer itself. He might not. No, he probably wouldn't have this one again. But with that being said, I think I could sit down and watch like a Raptors game or a Leafs game right now with the snow outside, crack the door open a bit, get a cool breeze coming in here, and just kind of sit with this and simmer with it for a couple of periods.
You know what? This is one of those beers where you crack it at the start of the second period and you take your last sip at the end of the second period.
And then you take your nap. 2
In
seconds after that.
intermission. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right. What do you guys, top 5 flavor profiles? Brett, Chris, who wants to take it?
I'll take it.
All right.
All right.
Number 1, chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I get chocolate, but I actually don't think it would be the number one.
What would you put for one?
Well, what they have as number 2, I would put as number 1.
Oh, I got this one.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yes, I would put that as number 1.
I could see that.
I agree.
I could see changing those around. Yep. All right, you guys are both taking
Sorry,
sips
yeah,
this time. I'll
Fill the time. Number 3, chili.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Same as number 2.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Is anybody taking a look back at their beer to see if we can still see the kind of the chili, pepper flakes, chili flakes, etc.?
I am now. I can still see it.
There you go. Number 4, vanilla. Can you see any vanilla in your beer? More
Nope.
importantly, taste it.
Because it's already a very dark beer. But no, I was actually thinking about this. They mentioned that it has vanilla and lactose, and I actually get no vanilla or lactose personally.
Well, I think it's because the chili sorry, not chili, but the peppers are dominating that lactose.
Yes. Yeah.
I do get a bit of vanilla myself.
Okay.
Like I can pick up on that, whether it's just like it's vanilla extract, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the flavor I'm getting.
You might have to look at the recipe to see what it is.
Yeah. I'll take back look at every iteration.
And there's 2 of them. Number 5, smoky.
You picked it up, I
Yeah,
think.
you mentioned that. I mean, I get what you're saying with that. I definitely kind of get a hint of that, but again, it may be just coming from the chilies that they used.
Yeah.
But
Producer Carlos, he has looked at me and said,
please take this out of my hand.
With fires in his eyes.
Boozy? Yeah, that's good. Like maybe, I think as you get more into it. At the
Yes,
very
I was
beginning.
gonna say that.
No. It's going to be one of those things you take 3 quick sips and all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, that heat's going to come and then...
Yeah.
the sips
You
are
know
gonna
what?
start
I'm
to get
still
slower
not
and
getting
slower.
a whole lot of boozy. Like I'm really picking up the spice, the chili, the chocolate, and a little bit of vanilla. No smoky. I'm not getting a whole lot of boozy, but that's just me.
Yeah. So, he likes getting roasty with it. I don't know. I'm kidding. The beer is getting roasty. Chocolate right away. He was hoping for more vanilla. This chili spicy burns in the aftertaste. You can see his tongue. I think he might have some water, which is off-putting for someone who's not a fan of spice. I think we really probably should have picked another producer for this one. But we did talk about screwing them over. So I think producer Carlos is going to want to stick to the Shapeshifter series.
Yeah,
Yes.
really enjoyed those.
He did like those.
I
as we
think he
mentioned.
almost had a couple 5s on those.
And that's the thing that I think we see with this, right? Is this isn't everybody's beer.
True.
This is an acquired taste.
And not even just that. Like everybody has different tastes and likes. This obviously does not appeal to Carlos, but you know what? We'll see where the ratings fall. But let's see what the Untapped users think. Brett, you got the first one.
I do, yes. So this one's from Brock W. His handle is Bravo 7 Whiskey 2.
Oh, do you see what he did there?
I believe Bravo is winning by a score of 7-2.
Bravo for Brock, W for Whiskey. Bravo, Whiskey, Charlie, etc., etc., etc. Continue.
I like my idea better. Anyway, on September 18th, said some incredibly complex flavors, which I agree with. Are really interesting and tasty. Wouldn't want any more, but glad I had it.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
He did not rate this beer.
That's not fair.
Not fair. He's not helping anybody by not rating it.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, thanks, Brock. So the next one comes
Thanks, Brock.
Good job.
from Michelle C. Penguin Lover is the handle. Also on May 6th, stated very chocolate, sweet, and smooth, but very boozy at 10%. And then at her daughter's suggestion, she put some Diet Coke in it to make it easier to drink. She then said, not that spicy, but very warm going down. So maybe we need to get Carlos some Diet Coke and mix with this beer.
Yeah. Now, Michelle C., if I'm not mistaken, is a huge fan of the craft beer connoisseurs.
Cheers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yep.
cheers.
Well, Michelle,
long time listener. And
First time reviewer.
yeah, first time I think we've had one of our reviews
Yes.
on
We try to
our
make sure that
podcast.
we only have one of each person. You can't double dip.
No, for
Right,
sure.
right.
But yeah, Michelle.
Michelle did give it a 3.75 out of 5, so gotta
And
mention
gives
that.
this podcast a 5 out of 5, I believe.
Oh, she does.
In
And
the
6
ratings.
out of 5 for Brett.
Yeah, there it is.
So out of 5 bottle caps
What are
for
you going?
us, I'm going to give this a 3.
Okay.
It was so I think, like I mentioned, it's exactly what they wanted to do. It's just not exactly what I'm looking for.
So what were you looking for then?
Like I'm just not a huge fan of spice in my beers.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, again, a lot of things going on in my mouth with this beer.
Interesting.
It's not a 5, but I'm going to give it a 4.25.
All right.
I like it. If there was less smokiness, maybe a little bit less roasted chocolate malts, and the rating probably would have got higher. Tyler, up to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. So for myself, you know what? I see where you guys are both going with it. I can appreciate that. I am going to give it a 3.25. It does, again, follow along the same kind of guidelines that you guys are talking about. It hits on what it says it is. It's unique in the fact that it does have that chili.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And Carlos, we have Carlos coming in here.
Oh boy.
A little bit lower. So Carlos is going to be a 1.0. Now,
Well,
again,
that really brings the average down, don't it?
it does. Now, keep in mind, Carlos is not a fan of spice
Right.
and not a fan of these dark kinds of beers.
That's true. So
And not a fan of me.
we did really screw Carlos over.
Yes. But again, he made the comment about Shapeshifter, so
Right.
we'll leave that there. So that gives us
Shapeshifter 5.
an overall team score of what, Chris?
It gives us an overall score of 2.875, which we're going to round up to 3.0.
Indeed.
Nice.
Indeed. So that concludes the review of Halo and their beers that they provided today.
And coming up, fun scientific facts.
Yeah, we can see the Halo. Anyway, Halo is all about providing recipes to everyone, including all of the science that goes behind it.
Yeah.
So let us give you some unique science facts that might actually amaze you, or
not.
Or not.
Or not, yeah.
Gotta be
Could
there.
go either way.
So, did you guys know?
So wait, you're going to start?
Yeah.
All right,
I am.
go ahead.
So
Is that okay?
you start, and then we're going to just kind of go around
Yeah,
the
go around
round
the table, around the horn, if you
Okay,
will.
Carlos, you okay? We got
No, he's not.
We got to
Okay.
come see. All right,
Has he
man.
recovered from the beer?
So, Hawaii actually moves 7.5 centimeters closer to Alaska every year.
Bet you we don't
Wow.
see those savings in the flights. Am I right?
Yeah.
So I bet you by the
Yeah.
year 5,247, they might be together. I don't know.
All right.
So Carlos, coming in something cold because obviously the beer you just had was a
Speaking
little hot,
about Alaska,
right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
guys are coordinated.
Apparently, polar bears are nearly undetectable by infrared cameras.
Wow. There you
So if you're ever stealing something, grab a polar bear.
go. What about info white cameras? I've got no kids, but I'm here for dad jokes. All right, I'll give my number one here that I've got here. The human eye blinks an average of 4.2 million times a year.
Wow.
1, 2, 5. Stop
We're
blinking.
here all night.
Stop it, or else I'm going to start counting my blinking.
Everybody that's listening to the podcast now is now like very cognitive and aware
I'm just trying to
of, like,
think, am
their
I
blinks.
average, above average, or below average?
You don't want me to answer that one. Oh, we're talking about blinks. Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, next one for me. Did you know that?
I did.
Okay. Babies have around 100 more bones than adults when they're born.
Yes.
So basically, as they grow, their bones fuse together, which is pretty crazy.
I did know that one. And they don't have kneecaps until they're like 2 years old. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's all kind of there.
You seem put off by that.
So what
Changed my whole
What I
life.
want you guys to do now
Okay.
is everybody, because they probably all have it in readily available, is the periodic table of elements. Okay, grab it out.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Do you know that only one letter does not appear on the periodic table of elements?
And which letter is that?
Hopefully it's you. Another dad joke for the kids at home.
Do you have something to tell us?
No. You.
It's letter J.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
So look it up.
All right. So Carlos, still recovering. His second fun fact for science is bananas are radioactive. They contain potassium, and since potassium decays, it becomes slightly radioactive. So you need to eat probably about 10 million bananas in one sitting to die from banana-induced radiation poisoning.
Let's get some bananas.
That's a costly sitting.
You know, I'm not surprised by this with its relation to Hefeweizens. But anyway,
Oh, true.
my second one is the largest. Now, you're going to find this kind of funny, I think. You might see a relationship with this and also beer. But it's the largest man-made lake in the U.S. is Lake Mead.
It's not Lake Malt.
No, created by the Hoover Dam. And there's actually a really interesting story behind Lake Mead and Hoover Dam. So another podcast, Stuff You Should Know, they did an episode on this as well. So if you want to check that out, you can get educated.
Awesome. Well, if you ever wondered, how much does my brain weigh? Well, the average brain weighs 3 pounds. I'm going back to babies. A newborn baby, though, their brain weighs about only 3/4 of a pound.
What is with your, you just zoned in on one theme, eh?
Do you have something to tell us, Chris?
I have a child.
Hey.
You have another one coming here?
No.
Okay.
No. Nope.
Dad jokes. You're talking about babies. I thought maybe something was going on tonight.
No.
No,
right.
definitely not.
So, We're going to talk about
This is the last
blazing
one.
speed. Not spleed. Speed now.
A magic missile.
Yeah, exactly. It actually could be. I just like what you did there. It could be also a fallen empire, too, if you really look at it.
It's true.
A sneeze can travel up to 100 miles per hour.
Wow.
That's like over the speed limit in most places.
Yes,
Well,
it is.
In most U.S. places.
Yes.
But what does that equate to?
Yeah, that's math, Carlos.
That would be
Carlos,
160 kilometers an hour. I can do that in my head.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
It must be that Windsor degree coming in here.
Yeah, there you go.
You've got the third one from Carlos, because
Yes.
Carlos is now in no way, shape, or form able to speak, even if we wanted him to.
His tongue
He's
is
probably
burned by
peeing-
chilies.
He's probably peeing himself right now.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of peeing, did you know that the urine of a diabetic person may contain so much sugar that it can be purified and made into whiskey? So, I guess cheers?
Can you grab out the LCBO or what?
Only if you're in luck. Got another one. God, I am on fire. Just
Aren't
like
you?
his chilies.
Here comes another dad joke from Tyler.
Yeah. All right. The average person falls asleep in 7 minutes. I've never.
That must be nice.
I am below average. It's going to take me like at least an hour.
That's above average.
I am above average.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw this one. I was like, you know what? I don't ever recall falling asleep in 7 minutes. Now, my significant other, 7 seconds.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
my wife, I don't think I recall her falling asleep in 7 minutes either, because it's usually about 7 seconds.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I would joke
what
there,
about
but
7 seconds do you got?
I am not going there with you, Chris. Anyway, number 3.
All right. So my last one here. So there's an island called Ryan Island. It's an island in Siskiwit Lake,
Yep.
which is on Isle Royale, which is an island in Lake Superior. So lots of islands and lakes here going on.
It's island inception.
So exactly, it's an inception. So basically, Ryan Island is the largest island in the largest lake on the largest island in the largest lake in the world.
Can you say that 3 times fast for me?
No.
Because that'd be great.
That's it. That is actually a really interesting fact,
Yeah,
because
actually,
as you were saying it, I was like, okay, yeah, so it's Lake Superior is the largest lake.
I had to
And
read
then
that over
we're
a
talking
couple
about
times for you.
You know what's really cool is to look at it on Google Maps.
I'll have to do that.
Yeah.
And we encourage you at home to do the exact same.
Absolutely.
We also encourage you guys to follow us on Untapped at Craft Beer Connoisseurs. And also, listen to our farewell.
There it is. We'll be right back with our goodbyes. All right, that's going to be it for today's episode.
Yeah, thank you again for listening. Keep on listening every other Thursday as Craft Beer Connoisseurs releases a new episode, and on our off Thursdays for a producer special.
So make sure to tell your friends, family, and your favorite lake that produces water, because Carlos looks like he still needs some water.
It's true. Carlos, you there? So
No,
from
he's
all
not.
of us, producer Carlos, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brett.
And I'm Chris, and together we're the Craft Beer Connoisseurs.